Retired Army Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano is a senior counselor with the Heritage Foundation. He joins us now. Colonel, what do you make of where things stand? Obviously, we hear reportedly that Kushner and Wickoff are on the way. The vice president is apparently not headed there yet, and it seems that Iran is not yet coming to Switzerland.
Yeah, I don't care. Look, I mean, in 6 months, the president has demolished Iran's capability as a regional power. It is a shadow of its former self. Even if we just left them alone, it would take them decades to build back where they are, and the region's not going to leave them alone. So I know everybody fixates on all this stuff, but honestly, Iran is not a regional threat that accomplishes all of the U.S. vital interest, and it creates a new future for the region. And that's going to be true regardless of the path of these talks, whether Iran completely capitulates or whether we go back to bombing or whatever. It doesn't matter at this point, period.
And you raise a good point, Colonel, that Iran has never been as weak as we have hammered them into weakness. But yet you do have criticism from the Republican side. You've got the Senate Armed Services Committee Chairman Roger Wicker, Senator Ted Cruz, others saying that among the gains we've gotten, are we threatening to squander them away, particularly when you hear about this $300 billion fund that could potentially allow Iran to financially reconstitute themselves?
Yeah, I just think they're drinking stupid juice. Look, on the one hand, regime change is completely unrealistic. Nobody, like, what's the check? I mean, give me the bill, right? So, I mean, essentially what they're asking the president to do is, what is it going to take to actually get Iran at the tipping point of regime change? Nobody knows. And so they want the president to basically sign a blank check to do that. That is ridiculous. Essentially, since we accomplished all our vital interests short of that. Plus, regime change brings a whole new set of problems. Mass migration, maybe a civil war, who knows, that you would have to deal with just like in the aftermath of Iraq. So that's nuts. And the $300 billion, that's a chimera. That is money that Iran will likely never get. First of all, the regime is unlikely to obey all the rules that would actually get them any money. If they did get the money, they could only spend it on the Iranian people, not on rebuilding. And the massive rebuild they have to do exceeds all of that money. And the final thing is this is actually going to put more pressure on the regime, because what's going to happen is they're going to stall, and the Iranian people are going to be sitting there going, we could have $300 billion to rebuild our country, and those yahoos won't let us have it. And so it's going to bring more pressure to the regime.
And that money cannot go, Colonel, to those proxies, Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis. Right. Let me quickly get your take, though. The president returned from the G7 praising. He was with, obviously, the G7 leaders in countries like France and Italy and others that weren't with the president when all this started, now getting on board. What do you make of how that went?
Well, the G7 has really emerged as the only effective multinational forum in the world. It's the only one where the Chinese really can't dominate. We see increasingly the G7 taking China more seriously. And the G7 is kind of a misnomer, because you invite all these countries like India and other people that are important players to the G7. So that is the ball game. That is the FIFA. That is the World Cup of global politics. And Donald Trump walked in the other day and just completely dominated. So that tells you everything you need to know about who is the leader of the free world.
And jokingly told the group, I'm the boss. Lieutenant Colonel James Carafano, thank you very much for your time.
Hey, thanks for having me.
All right.